All right, financial lit. This is what we covered on Friday, March 3rd. Yeah, March 3rd. And so these are all in our packet. You're going to want to go to page 59 and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so how long should funds remain in a single deposit savings account? That's what we're going to figure out. So go ahead and read through this slide. Let me see if I can. There we go. You should be able to see it now. This is in your notes as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to solve for R for the first time because it's going to say that we have our ending amount, we have our principal, we have our 1 plus the R divided by N right here, and we have our NT right here. So we are going to go through all of this. So we are going to want to compare the formula to Anna's account, and then so what we're going to do is this is what we started with. This is the formula that we're using. And then we want to point out the things that they equal. So we know that our ending balance is the 1,061.52. We know our principal is 1,000 because that's where it would be. Then our parentheses, the 1 plus the R over N is this 1.01. So that's already computed. We're going to have to take it apart, but it's already computed for us. And then we have NT is equal to 2T, and that will give us our N when we need it. So then we end up with figuring this out. So we're going to set this equal to 1.01 because that comes from right here. That's what that equals. So we are just working on this right here. So make sure you get this in your notes. And then we'll solve from each side. So what we did was we subtracted 1 from each side. And then we knew that our N was 2 because of in our formula it says 2T in our original problem. And so that means if we don't know what T is, then we know that the N must be 2. So then we take that, we multiply both sides by 2, and we get R is 2%. So our rate is 2% for this problem. Okay, so we have another example right here. We have Andy's savings, and this is all the information, but this is the original problem we're going to start with. Again, we're solving for R. So we are going to want to do what we've been doing since the beginning and plug in the things we know. So we get 1 plus R over N is equal to 1.006. And then we know what our N is. Our N is going to be 4. So we subtract 1 from each side. And then we know our N is 4. We multiply each side by 4. And we get that R is equal to 2.4%. So go ahead and get that in your notes and make sure that is something you know how to do. But again, this is going to be solving for the rate in a compound interest. All right, we've got Nancy and Bob, and they want to renovate their kitchen sometime in the future. They've deposited $16,000 into an account that compounds interest monthly at a rate of 2.4%. How long will it take for that account until that account reaches $20,000? So we are going to plug in all of the things that we know. So we have a number is equal to a number times this to some unknown base. And the reason, or this base to some unknown power, excuse me. So we don't know what our power is, so we're going to have to deal with this a little bit differently. So we can figure out what is inside the parentheses because everything that's inside the parentheses is just a number. So we can put all of that together. And then we're going to want to divide. We want to get everything away from this because what the unknown is an unknown exponent, and so whenever we have an exponent that we are trying to solve for, we always want to get the base by itself. So we want to get the 1.002 to the 2t. We want to get all of that by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 16,000. And then that will get us 5 over 4. We can type that in our calculator and we'll get 1.25, or we can leave it as 5 over 4. It doesn't really matter. But now we're at a point where we are going to have to use some mathematics that we haven't used maybe in a while to solve for an exponent. So whenever we'll come back to this, so go ahead and just leave your answer. You can either leave it as 1.25, so you can type this into the calculator, is equal to this, and we'll come back to it. So if we go down, right underneath that one, it says logarithms are the inverse of exponents. So we can use logarithms to undo exponents. And then any log that doesn't have a number right here, a little subscript, that has a base of 10. So every log is base 10 unless otherwise noted. The only other log that you might see that doesn't tell you the base, it just gives you a number or a letters, is natural log, which is ln. And if you're looking at your calculator, the log button and the ln button are both on there. They are right there. So they're next to your 7 and your 4 key. So if you're looking in my little picture right there. So natural log is log base E, log is log base 10. Okay, so that's the basics of logs. And then when we use logarithms to switch, to find an exponent. That's why we use them. So we may go back and forth in forms. And if you took functions or Algebra 2 honors or even Algebra 2, then you know that we've already dealt with this and that if we can take the base to an exponent, it equals an amount. Another word that's used for this is argument. And then if you have a log to a base of an amount equals the exponent. So logarithms always equal an exponent. And if you wanted to rewrite this, you take the first number to the third number and it equals the second. So this says 2 to the third equals 8. 2 to the third equals 8. So you will be asked to rewrite those. There is some practice in your packet. Just to get used to doing this, if we are looking at 125 is equal to 5 cubed, then the base would be 5, the amount would be 125, and the exponent would be 3. If we're looking at just letters, your base would be B, your amount would be K, and your exponent would be T. Now going for logarithm form, this says log base 3 of 9 is equal to 2. So the base is 3, the amount is 9, and the exponent is 2. And then if we're looking at just variables, the base is G, the amount is R, and the exponent is W. So go ahead and hit pause and finish those ones. Okay, so here are the rest of the numbers. There we go. So make sure you check your notes and get that corrected. Okay, in our notes, we also can go switching back and forth from exponential form to logarithm form. So the first thing you do when you have an exponent is you're going to write the word log. So L-O-G. Then you're going to say base. Your subscript is going to be this number here, your base in the exponent. So 5. And then the amount goes next to that. So this says log base 5 of 25 is equal to 2. And your exponent is always going to be over here away from the log because logarithms equal an exponent. Okay, so just go ahead and hit pause. Okay, so now that those are finished, let's go from logarithmic form to exponential form. So we have log base 6 of 36 is equal to 2. So my base is 6, and then my power is 2, and it's going to equal 36. So go ahead and hit pause and finish those. I went a little too far back. Hold on. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you check your answers. Hit pause. All right, in the past, we've used logarithms to undo exponents. So I'm going to give you two very simple versions of how we would have done this. If we wanted to know 2 to the x equals 8 and we wanted to know the exact power, one, we could figure it out. We could rewrite 2 and 8 as powers of 2, and we would get 2 to the x is equal to 2 to the third, and then x is equal to 3. We could do it that way. Or to prove that to use logarithms, we can solve them for anything, we'll take something that we know. So we know the answer to this is 2 to the third equals 8. But if we log both sides, so this is log base 10 of 2 to the x is equal to log base 10 of 8. So now we have common log bases. So then now we're going to apply the power rule. And the power rule tells us that when we do that, the power goes in front of the logarithm and it's being multiplied. And then now we just have x times some number equals another number. Well, anytime we have a coefficient with a variable, we just divide to get away from it. So we're going to divide both sides by log 2, and we get x is equal to log 8 divided by log 2. If you type that in your calculator, you will get x is equal to 3. Now let's try something that isn't so obvious. So 2 to some power is going to equal 5. It's going to be what? More than 2, but less than 3. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the log of both sides. We're going to apply the power rule. And then we're going to get this log 2 away from the x because it's being multiplied. And we get x is equal to 2.322. And we'll round to some number. I'll tell you what to round to. All right. So in your notes on page, let's see, we are on now page, oh, I went too far back. Okay, we are now on page 61. And you're going to want to put, usually it is helpful to Switch forms when solving logarithmic equations. So that is at the top of page 61. Go ahead and do these problems. If you need help, here are some examples of that, of the harder logarithms that are below at the bottom of page 61. So you're going to want to fill in the ones and above. And then the general strategies is going to be isolating the logarithm or exponential piece and then use algebra. And then you may want to switch forms to solve. So I've got some examples. You can hit pause and you can put these in your notes if you would like. Okay, we're going to come back to Nancy and Bob. So we're back at Nancy and Bob. Nancy and Bob still want to renovate the kitchen. So here's all the math we already did. So if you want to hit pause and jot that back down, I have space for you on page 62. Okay, so now we're to the part where we stopped and we left. Now we want to solve. So we have a number equals a base raised to some unknown power. I don't know what it is. So we're going to figure that out. So we're going to take the log of both sides, and then we're going to apply the power rule right there. Again, when we apply the power rule, this was 12 times t. So now we got 12 times t times the log of 1.002. Now we want to get everything away from t, and since everything's being multiplied by t, we can divide everything that's being multiplied. So 12 and log 1.002, and we're going to divide both sides by that, and then we end up with log of 1.25 divided by 12 times log of 1.002 equals t. And we are going to end up with t is about 9.307 years. Okay, that is where we're going to stop for this video. The next video will be the rest of the examples.